Feeling overwhelmed by the constant pressure and endless distractions of modern life? The non-stop noise, the endless notifications, the pressure to perform, to stay connected. It can feel like the entire world is demanding a piece of you, leaving no room to breathe. You wake up already behind, scrolling through updates before your mind has even woken up, comparing your life to others who seem to have it all figured out. Work never ends, rest feels guilty, and silence, when it comes, feels almost foreign. But what if there was another way to live? Imagine finding calm in the chaos, a rock-solid sense of inner peace, no matter what the world throws at you. Not because the chaos disappears, but because you've learned to stand unmoved by it, to anchor your mind in clarity, strength, and purpose. This isn't a fantasy. It's a skill, an art that humans have practiced for thousands of years. It's the wisdom of the Stoics, an ancient philosophy that has guided emperors and everyday people toward a life of resilience and peace. The world tells us that happiness lies in getting more success, more validation, more things. But Stoicism flips this entirely. It teaches that peace isn't found in controlling the world. It's found in mastering how you respond to it. The Stoics understood something timeless. You can't control what happens, but you can always control how you think, what you value, and how you act. And in that control lies freedom. Think about it. Most of our stress and anxiety doesn't come from events themselves, but from our reactions to them. The late reply, the rude comment, the missed opportunity, these don't destroy our peace. Our interpretation of them does. The philosopher-emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These weren't words for monks in the mountains. They were written by a man running an empire, dealing with war, betrayal, and responsibility on a scale most of us can't imagine. If he could find calm, perhaps we can too. We're often told that peace means retreat, detoxing, disconnecting, running away. But Stoicism offers a different path. Not escape, but engagement with wisdom. It's not about avoiding challenges, but facing them with courage and composure. It's not about pretending emotions don't exist, but about understanding them, guiding them, and not letting them dictate your life. Imagine living with the kind of awareness where you can pause before reacting, where your emotions serve you instead of sabotaging you. You lose your temper less, you worry less about others' opinions, you recover faster from setbacks. That's not denial, it's mastery. The modern world feels increasingly out of control. Economies shift overnight, social media amplifies negativity, and uncertainty feels constant. Yet within this chaos, Stoicism reminds us that true control has always been internal. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." How true is that today? We stress about things that haven't even happened, replay past mistakes on a loop, and get caught in constant comparison. Our minds become prisons of our own making. Stoicism offers the key to unlock that cell. By separating what we can control from what we cannot, and investing our energy only in what we can. The Stoics practiced a discipline of perception. They trained themselves to see events not as good or bad, but as opportunities. Chances to exercise virtue, to grow, to test their strength. A delay becomes a chance to practice patience. An insult becomes a chance to practice self-control. A loss becomes a chance to practice gratitude for what remains. Life stops being an endless series of problems and becomes a practice field for wisdom. And that's the shift that changes everything. When you stop expecting life to be easy and start expecting yourself to be strong, everything begins to align. You no longer demand that the world conform to your wishes. You train yourself to adapt with grace and purpose. This isn't about blind optimism. It's about realism with courage. The Stoics weren't naive. They faced death, exile, illness, and failure. Marcus Aurelius faced plagues and wars. Epictetus was born a slave and lived in hardship. Seneca lost his wealth, power, and eventually his life under a tyrannical emperor. Yet all three wrote words that still inspire us 2,000 years later. How? Because they discovered that while life can take almost everything, it can't take your inner freedom unless you give it away. So forget the trendy self-help fads. This isn't about affirmations or pretending everything is fine. This is about building a foundation so strong that you can stand firm even when life is not fine. Stoicism doesn't tell you to suppress emotion. It tells you to understand it, to see it clearly, and to let it pass without enslaving you. It's about developing reason, perspective, and virtue, qualities that allow you to thrive even in hardship. When you learn to meet challenges with calm analysis instead of panic, when you choose integrity over impulse, when you find gratitude even in difficulty, you are living stoically, and that's real power. Think of the last time you were angry, anxious, or frustrated. What was happening in your mind? Usually, it's resistance, the wish that something would be different than it is. Stoicism invites you to release that resistance. Accept reality as it is, not as you wish it to be, and then act with wisdom. This doesn't mean being passive, it means acting with clarity. You can't navigate a storm by shouting at the wind. You navigate by accepting the storm and steering through it. When you practice this, you stop wasting energy on what's beyond you and channel it into what truly matters, your choices, your actions, your response. In daily life, Stoicism can be astonishingly practical. You can start by asking yourself in any situation, is this within my control? If not, practice letting it go. If yes, act wisely. When someone criticizes you, remember Epictetus's lesson. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When plans fall apart, remind yourself of Marcus Aurelius's words. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every obstacle becomes a teacher. Every hardship, a forge for your character. We often underestimate how much peace comes from detachment, not detachment from caring, but detachment from outcomes. You can pour your heart into your work, your relationships, your goals, but if your peace depends on their success, you'll always be at the mercy of the uncontrollable. Stoic detachment allows you to act fully, yet remain free. You do your best, and then you let go. That's liberation. In our age of instant gratification and emotional reactivity, Stoicism offers a return to inner discipline, the discipline to pause before reacting, to reflect before judging, to focus on what's essential, to live by principles instead of impulses. This doesn't make you emotionless. It makes you emotionally intelligent. You still feel anger, sorrow, and joy, but you're not ruled by them. You see them as passing weather in the sky of your mind. You become the observer, not the storm. And there's a quiet confidence that comes with that. When others panic, you remain steady. When others complain, you adapt. When things fall apart, you rebuild. That's not indifference. That's strength. The truth is, you already have the power the Stoics spoke of. It's the power of choice. You can't always choose what happens, but you can always choose your attitude. You can choose whether to dwell in fear or to act with courage. You can choose to see setbacks as unfair or as opportunities to build resilience. That choice, made moment by moment, defines who you become. The modern mind is restless because it seeks control over the uncontrollable. But once you truly internalize that the only control that matters is within, everything changes. You stop fighting reality and start flowing with it. Imagine waking up tomorrow and beginning your day with the Stoic reflection. Today, I will meet people who are ungrateful, arrogant, and selfish. But I, who understand the nature of good, will not be harmed by them. Imagine facing traffic, deadlines, or conflict with that mindset. Imagine ending your day with gratitude, not for what went perfectly, but for how you handled what didn't. That's the power of Stoicism. It transforms everyday living into spiritual training. You start to view each challenge not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity to practice being the person you want to be. When you live this way, your sense of self becomes unshakable. You no longer depend on validation or external success for your worth. You measure yourself by your actions, your integrity, your calm. The storms of life don't stop, but you become the still center within them. You learn that peace isn't the absence of storms, it is the ability to stand in the rain and remain composed. So the next time life feels chaotic, pause, breathe, ask yourself what's within your control. Act with intention, accept the rest. With time, this practice rewires your habits of thought from panic to presence, from reaction to response, from fear to fortitude. This isn't a philosophy you read once. It's one you live daily, in your words, your thoughts, your choices. The more you practice, the more you realize that Stoicism isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally free. In the end, Stoicism teaches you that peace is not something you find. It's something you build. You can't control the waves, but you can learn to surf them. You can't silence the world, but you can quiet your mind. Remember, you already possess everything you need to be calm, strong, and wise. The challenge is not to add more, but to let go of fear, attachment, and illusion. What remains is your truest self, steady, rational, and free. That is the Stoic way, to thrive, not just survive, to find stillness in motion, to be the rock that the storm can't move. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content on living a wiser, more resilient life.